eventually you'll start altering what you do and like, adding in your personality flares here and there.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, you'll kind of see it grow, because I think that's when people start to resonate with your content.
Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Influence Factor by the Influencer Marketing Factory. Today with me we have finally a content creator. He's not just a content creator, he's one of our TikTokers, one of our talent, Carter Kench, also known as Cringe Carter. And welcome to the show. What's up?
Hey, I'm doing just good over here, living my life in California.
Amazing. I'm really happy to have doing this episode together, because in the past, right, the other episodes, I mostly invited people that are working in the industry, but usually on the side, either brand side or client side, or for example, people that are like in platforms. So it's a bit different. But in your case, you are a content creator, right? So I'm really interested to know more about the behind the scene. What does it mean to be a content creator? But first of all, just tell a bit more about yourself as a person, even before, as a content creator. Where are you from? Where are you living now? And we're going to go more in depth about what is happening to your life lately.
Sure. So I am from Georgia. I was born and raised there. And pretty much my entire life, I've always felt this passion for impacting other people's lives, whether it was just, making them laugh or completely helping their day improve. It was always something that I wanted to do. And so kind of going into this, when I got my first iPhone in middle school and I was able to reach people online, I really became obsessed with the idea of having a platform and being able to do just that. And then it kind of was just my passion that took over from there. And I started posting, and I posted more, and then I was reaching people, and it's given me the opportunity to move from Georgia to California, where I reside now. And the future is boundless, is what I like to say. And it's a really cool opportunity that I've been given.
Amazing. And so you said that you are in California, LA, right? Is the place where every content creator is, every influencer is. So first of all, do you feel like that you're at home right now, or do you feel that home is still in Georgia? Is it a bit of both? What do you miss of your place, and what do you like of LA?
Yeah, for sure. I will say one thing I've learned since moving out here is that your home isn't necessarily a building, but it's rather the people that you hold closest to you. And I've been very fortunate to meet those people out here. I mean, my roommate that I'm very close with, I feel like is almost family at this point. So I have a home out here. It's my apartment. And I go back home to Georgia, and I also have a home there with my family and my close friends that I still am in contact with. And I think there's definitely a balance of being able to find that. And once you have that, it makes living somewhere a lot easier and less stressful.
But do you feel that LA is the right place, right? Because again, there is a lot of people there, right? So do you still think there is the are you getting I don't know, maybe I would say inspiration just because you are there? Are you feeling there is a difference between there and in any other places in the US?
I think so. I think that being surrounded by like-minded individuals definitely benefits. And the difference from Georgia versus here, in my experience, is that when you're out here, a lot of people have this work-minded similarity, whereas back in Georgia, my friends don't really do what I do, so it was a lot more difficult to get them on board with something. I had to kind of convince them by buying them Starbucks or something funny.
Get it. Yeah, maybe in some other places, do you do videos online? That's your what you do, right? While in LA, everyone they do that, right? So they not just tell you actually that they understand you, but they can help you out, right, with ideas and inspiration. So that definitely makes sense. And you started, right? So your journey began with the cringe dance videos, right? That was the beginning, sort of the origins. First of all, tell us a bit more about that. And two, what was the turning point for you? When did you start feeling, okay, this is more than just a little silly dance on camera? When did you understand that this was for you a possibility, an opportunity to make it? Not even making money from the beginning, but something that was a way for you, right, to get in front of people and communicate with the others.
Yeah, for sure. So I would like to say that every influencer or creator has gone through this trial and error process where they start out doing one type of content. 9 times out of 10, that is not the content they will continue doing. And for me, that was my cringe dance videos, which at the time were just super fun. No effort put in whatsoever. I just set up my phone, played some music, and just did whatever I felt like doing. It was not scripted. It was not choreographed. And through that, I kind of began this creative expression journey where I figured out what I liked and what I didn't like. And then that kind of evolved once TikTok became the platform it is today. I was, kind of early to that train of people that were going on there and just trying to make it. And I knew dance videos were kind of like falling out of style in my mind. I kind of wanted to do something that had a little more personality to it. So that's when I introduced talking videos. And I really saw a return investment, you would say, like in marketing terms, when I started doing that and people started reconciling, or I don't know if that's the right terminology there, but people started like really, there's a word I'm thinking of, just like,
Connecting you? No.
yeah.
The one?
There was
Okay.
like a connection that was
Yeah.
being established through the camera. And once that started kind of taking off is when I really saw the monetary value of what I had. And I mean, my management came in around that same time. It was kind of when I realized that I had finally found what I should be doing. And it was something I was passionate in.
Lovely. And do you think that was either a video that either blew and was like, okay, it's making X amount of million of views? First of all, that's crazy, right? Because again, as you said, right, you started without the intention of getting there, but you actually got there. So do you think there is one video or a couple of videos that really made you explode? And if so, which ones would be? Hey, quick break. This podcast is hosted by the Influencer Marketing Factory. We are an influencer marketing agency that helps brands and companies engage with Gen Z and millennials on social media. We take care of influencer identification, storytelling, creativity, negotiation, contracting, campaign management, ROI analysis, in-depth reporting, content boosting, and much, much more. Are you interested in learning more? You can find us at theinfluencermarketingfactory.com or you can Google the Influencer Marketing Factory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right off the bat, my first ever viral video that really like took off on multiple platforms, people were reposting it, was when I decided to try those Joey Chinese candies that kind of took over. And I want to say like February of 2019 is when this happened. And I went to the store, I bought the last packet because they were all sold out. And I just propped up my phone and I tried doing it with no prior knowledge. And turns out it was actually quite funny and people took to it really well. And that was, I want to say that video is sitting at like 17 million views right now. And that was my first ever one that was like, phew.
How did you feel when you got like all those million? Like, what is the feeling? Because unfortunately, I never got like the 1 million right like views, right? Because I'm not a content creator. I just doing this, like on the side as in terms of podcasting. But what is the feeling there as a content creator that wants to make it like either a living out of it or just getting to the next level? What was the feeling there to see like all these millions of views going up, comments, I guess, shares? What is the feeling? Even just like coming from like your personal side, what happened there to you?
It honestly was one of the best feelings, mostly because it was like I've been putting in all of this energy towards this one passion and one hobby at the time, because it was my hobby for a very long time, wasn't making money off of it, wasn't really seeing, a lot of like benefits that would make this become my job in the future. And then once I saw that, it was really just oh my gosh, I am so excited. Can we go sledding? Because at the time it was snowing. And I remember I took 2 of my friends and celebrating, we just went sledding. And I'm pretty sure I hit a tree and hurt myself. But it was all fun and games, It was like, a good escape, I would say,
Nice.
to just kind of enjoy it.
And so like you said, like you got this million of views, but you said that you started just as a hobby, right? You didn't know if it was gonna be big or not. So let me ask you this: back in the days, I'm talking about maybe 10-15 years ago, if you were making videos on YouTube, you didn't want to say that you were making videos on YouTube, right? Like you were like, if my friends don't know about this, that's cool, right? It is better type of feeling, right? I also
Yeah.
remember back in the days, I also was doing I'm talking about like, this was in Italy, 2008, stuff like that. One of the first videos out there. And it was one of those things that you pushed things out, but again, it was your world. No one really knew about it, and it was difficult to tell someone, "Hey, I'm doing video on YouTube." You were really being like seen as a weird person, absolutely,
Yeah.
right? And then that happened. Like I would say that it lasted for many years, right? It was your thing. People didn't really know about it, and if they knew about it, they didn't understand that. So let me ask you this: in your story, like how family and friends saw you get into this? Were they supportive about that? Did they understand that? Did they ask you questions? What was the process there? Because again, now it's a bit different. Everyone is on TikTok, but just 5, 6, 10 years ago was totally different. So what is
Yeah.
your story here?
I would say that when I first started, all of my friends supported me right off the bat. I think they saw the most potential in what I had. And I remember from like freshman year of high school when I was making my cringe dance videos, a lot of my friends told me like, you're literally so cool for posting this and just not caring. I think you have something cool going for you. And so they had my full support, or I had their full support. But it was different with my parents. I think my parents more saw it as just a hobby and something fun to do. But they definitely were still, coming into my room at night, making sure I did all my homework for school that day. I don't think their main priorities were my social media up until I started racking in a lot of views and followers and numbers that they could see and be like, wow, I think we should start supporting you with this decision now. And so there was a big point, though, where it was mostly just like my motivation and my own drive to do it that kind of was helping. That was pretty much it.
And apart from other content creators, because after a while, it's quite normal that you collaborate with others and you do videos together and you do ad and you do collaboration together. But what about friends, even before like moving to LA, they were not really into that? Did you ever get them like into videos, or they were like, I don't want to be on camera? What was the relationship there? What happened?
Yeah, well, obviously, I did have some friends that didn't really want to be on camera, that were a little camera shy. I'm very respectful. I was like, you're totally good. We do not have to do a video. I kind of just stuck with like 2 to 3 of my close friends throughout high school. And they were kind of my friends where like if I wanted to go to a store and just get a bunch of food and eat it, they would be so down for me to just prop up a camera and eat it with me. And I liked having a smaller amount of friends that I did that with. It made it feel a lot more real and important versus if I just did it with all my friends, it would have kind of lost its authenticity in a way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like you want to share your moments of life, right? Just maybe with those that you have chemistry, right? That they understand
Yes,
what you're doing. You have the same way of like laugh around things, the same humor, right? So,
exactly.
and then maybe that changes like year by year. But I totally understand that you need those few people. If not, it gets chaotic, right? And you lose also your personality somehow, right? And so, let me ask you this. So we said about your sort of like origins, the things that you didn't know about, all these type of things, then you explored it. It's going well. What are your next goals now, both on the personal side, content creator side, business side? How do you see yourself in the next year? I don't want to ask you about 10 years. That's too much. But what about the next year?
In the next year, well, I definitely still see myself doing content creation as my main focus. I mean, it's what I find enjoyment out of, and I base my days based off of it. So,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer. I definitely think personally, if you took away content, what I want to be doing in the next year, I just want to keep having my same, like, upbeat personality, and I don't really want to lose, like, my daily positivity. I don't really know the right wording for that, but I like how my mindset can always turn a sad thing into something that has a positive light, because you can always focus on the bad things, but if you like find that one thing that's not bad and focus on that, the bad things kind of like fade away. I would definitely say really hope that I get some cool like theme park influence somehow. I'm not entirely sure what that entails, but there are some dreams of mine to like, be able to go into a theme park and just ride roller coasters all day and call it content.
That's I think is the dream for everyone, right? So let's say there is manifestation, but I'm pretty sure that if you ask to anyone like, hey, we like to do like go to a theme park for free, get paid for it, and just like do a roller coaster every day, I mean, come on. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? To do. I get that totally. What else? What else? What else do you have in mind?
I'm hoping to increase, everything I'm doing right now. I'm
Hmm.
hoping that definitely a schedule, I think, would be great, being able to have a more consistent schedule week to week.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like my content is very free flowing, but
Hmm.
I feel like it could also be free flowing with a little bit of structure to make it less of an emotional head rush sometimes when I feel like things might be falling behind. So I think personally, having something like that lined up could benefit me just to be a little more of a workaholic, I would say.
Yeah. And, I mean, like you want both, right? You want to have your creative space, but also this is something also like I think there is a message that is important for also people that don't know about this world and this industry, right? It's not just a game, right? It's not just that hey, you do a video, post it there. You need you need more steps to it, right? You need to think about maybe the storytelling behind. You have to script sometimes things. You have to think about like how to cut videos, right? Then if there is the brand deals, we all know there is like there is a lot happening behind, right? So
Yeah.
having the right structure, I think that is important, right? And I'm gonna then ask you more about because later I'm gonna ask you more about suggestions and pieces of advice for who wants to get in. We can get more in detail there. But so yeah, so you were saying that you want to do more sort of like balancing, right? The creative side and the we'll call it like organizational, analytical side somehow, like some am I
Yeah,
right? Okay.
exactly right.
Amazing. And so we said that you want to grow, you want to do more experiences, you want to understand how you can get these to even more to the long term, right? Um, is there anything else that you are maybe looking at being now a content creator for quite some time? Is there anything else that you're also noticing that is happening maybe in the industry that you're looking at and be like, oh, that's actually cool. I would like to maybe jump on that, or maybe something that is not really your cup of tea, but you're fascinated by it somehow.
Yeah, I think when it comes to brand deals specifically, I think maybe in the future, if I could figure out how to establish which brands I really want to associate myself with, and maybe like on the industry side of things, figuring out how to incorporate it to a level that's bigger than just the occasional TikTok. I think
Got it.
a couple brands that I'm already trying to do that with. I don't really know what,
Mhm.
the next year what that's going to look like, but I can hope that, it might lead to something more than TikToks and just like, it would be cool to have an experience like that because I've never been able to try that before.
So okay, maybe I guess and just like to give a little bit of reference to again people that are listening in that might not know right about also collaborations, right? I guess so. You're maybe talking about collaboration between the brand and content creators on the longer term, right? Where you actually collaborate on the creative idea. Maybe you come out with merchandising together. Maybe you create a new product, right? Are
Yeah,
you referring to that something more that is like bigger than just a one-off brand deal type of thing, right?
I am, yes.
And why do you think something like that is important for you, for the brand, for the customer? Like, why is it a win-win situation there in your opinion?
I just think it's such a cool way to establish your brand on a physical level, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. I think there comes a point where, social media, like I do ads quite frequently, and I think doing something that's more than that is a really cool way to just like be like, yo, like this is something I genuinely feel connected to, if that makes sense.
Mhm. No, it does. And also on the other side, you have the brand that, what I say all the time is this. The brand knows like everything about, their own products and so on, but you know very well your audience. You know what people want to see, what they like, what they don't like, right? You can give to the brand so much actually in terms of knowledge and insights and intelligence, right?
Yeah.
That say maybe some people in the brands might not even realize that they are there. So how do you feel on that? Like, do you see collaboration already happening with big brands? Do you think that they're bringing value to both the customers and also to the brands? How do you see them working out? Especially in the last year, we saw many of them right happening.
Yeah. I definitely think that creativity is a very powerful tool that I've used in my personal experience. I think that, brands that are trying to outreach through these like new platforms, I think there's a good return investment where if, the right tools are set and the right messages are given, per se, I think, yeah, they've worked out, from what I've seen through my personal experience.
Yeah, also, people don't click anymore on banners, right? They want more. They want the connection,
Oh, yeah.
right, with you, right? They want to see you and they trust you. Therefore, they're gonna buy maybe the product that it's collaboration with. So, because of this, let me ask you this: Have you made Let me ask you, okay, so have you created a vision board for the 2022? So it's almost done as a year and everything. But if we have done that, have you accomplished what you want to do? And two, have you already started working on 2023?
Yeah, I definitely think I've accomplished exactly, if not more, than what I've been wanting to do this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's also really, like when I think about what I've done this year, it doesn't even feel real because it was so much, but the way my brain works, I do one thing at a time and you just don't let it overwhelm you. And so looking back on it, it's like, wow, I could have very easily gotten overwhelmed with the amount of stuff I've accomplished, but I definitely am already starting to think into 2023, and I'm really hoping to, keep doubling, what I'm doing every year. Because, you only get one life, and I feel like it's fun to work, especially when you do something you truly enjoy.
Totally. Do you envision them? Like, do you write things on a piece of paper, on a whiteboard? Like, are you a manifestation person type of thing? Like, you put down things you want to watch, like yourself being there, or are you more like, oh yeah, I want to do that, and that's about it? What type of person are you?
The second one, I want to say that's thanks to my ADHD, but I also just feel like I have this gift where it's more of a mindset that I'm in where I can just kind of envision what I want to do and I completely see an image of me doing it.
Okay.
And I don't give myself the opportunity to question that being real or not. And then I kind of just work towards it and it's worked for me so far. I have yet to really like reach a stopping point in what I've been trying to accomplish and what I want to do with my life.
Nice. I love all these messages. And let's give some messages and some pieces of advice for people that are listening today. They're like, either like, oh, I don't know if I want to get into this. No one believes in me. Or I've been doing this for 1 year, but I have no traction, but I believe in myself. So you have been there, right? And you also said like they did so many videos, I guess, maybe with no views or a little bit of views. And then, it started getting more. And then both, yeah, the tipping point, it got big.
Yeah.
Some piece of advice for people listening in today about either creating content or even just like how do you get in the right mindset to becoming a content creator?
Yeah. I want to say trial and error is the first thing when I think of like what I can tell small growing creators is you will not succeed at day one. And if you do, then congratulations, but I cannot say that I also did that.
That's difficult, almost impossible.
It is almost impossible to get it right the first time. And I would say you're also not going to be as authentic as you want to be your first time sitting down in front of a camera and recording. It's not something that you can just, snap into. If you ask any actors or actresses if they found success right away, almost 9 times out of 10, they'll say no. And that's the same with influencers. It takes a lot of just practice and getting used to. And when I first started TikTok, I was doing acting, sound, lip sync videos. And nobody knows me for those because it was a fail. It was not something that I kept around for much longer. And, once you start tweaking what you do and kind of adjusting the content to fit your like positive, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like traits, like your, the word I'm thinking of? It's like, I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I don't want to throw just like things there, but I talk about like your niche or what are you talking about here?
Your pros, your personality pros. We're just going to call them that.
Okay.
There's a word I'm thinking of.
Also blinking on that, but I think that, we
But yeah, once you really start, if you really stick to it, eventually you'll start altering what you do and like adding in your personality flares here and there.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, you'll kind of see it grow, because I think that's when people start to resonate with your content. And that's when people will start seeing your stuff and being like, this person's kind of got something here that I like to enjoy. I don't know what it is, but it makes me want to come back and watch you again. And once you find that, don't lose it. Keep going. And it will just kind of grow from there.
And you started mostly on TikTok, then you got also like on YouTube, you have other social media where you are present. But if you had to start today, so another piece of advice for someone else, is there any other social media platform that you have an eye on that got your attention? Could be also no, doesn't have to be answered there. And so if yes, which one? Maybe to start as a aspiring content creator, and if not, which would be between like the ones that are using one that now, like, so again, not like if you started 5 years ago, if you have to start like right now.
Yeah, I definitely think I have my eye on a certain platform, for the main reason being that the way that their algorithm works and the way that they treat their creators, they don't really care about, celebrity status. You can be just an aspiring creator, and once they see that there's potential in you, I feel like they've done a really good job reaching out to creators and helping them and giving them somebody to talk to if they need anything from the platform themselves, and that's YouTube. I think there's a lot of potential with their shorts. I found a lot of success on there, and it's something that I've been motivated to work harder on, because they seem to really enjoy having my presence on that platform. And so that's kind of made me want to work harder. And, right now I am still bigger on TikTok and have more of a presence there. But there's just, I see a lot more communication regarding YouTube than I've ever seen with TikTok.
Absolutely. And also I think that the important thing is that never stuck just on one social media forever, right? Because
Never.
things changes all the time and you have to adapt. The moment that you stop adapting, then you lose control over like your followers, your fan, even your narrative sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I would definitely do not stick with one. Always do more.
Yeah. Also, like, don't put like all your eggs in one basket, right? You want to be sure that if anything happens, right, you can just be around. Like we all know what happened back in the days with Vine. People had to rush to YouTube, right, because it was not a thing anymore. So and before we go to the sort of fast Q&A that I just wanted to leave for the end, is there anything else that you wanted to add that I either didn't ask you, or maybe in the questions before that you want to go more in depth, maybe anything that we left out before?
I think the last piece of it's kind of more reinstating than it is like bringing up something new, but it's basically just like, definitely find your people in life. I think if you want this to be your career, if you want to do regarding behind the scenes of social media, like what you do, what I do, anything in this industry, I feel like as long as you find like people to just enjoy life with, it will make this industry a lot more fun.
Totally. Love it. Nice. We need that positive, right? Message. I love that attitude. That's what we need. Absolutely. Love it. And so I have some questions here. In some of them, you can just tell me one word, one sentence. You can go more in detail. That's totally up to you. Okay. Just like 5 or 6 questions. So feel free to some of them, really one word could be if that is the case. Okay. So, okay, let's start. So if you could befriend any social media creator, okay, so someone that maybe you don't even know this person, okay, but would like the collaboration, the video to do together with someone, who would be the person?
This is totally not, it does not have anything to do with numbers. It's only personality, but Mr. Beast.
Well, that's yeah, I think that everyone listening knows the name, right? So and let me just ask you why. You can just tell me super quickly, but why Mr. Beast?
Because his main focus isn't the money, and I think people that have that mindset are like the best people on this earth.
Yeah, it's making. Yeah, I do agree. It's different than many majority of other content creators. So love it. You are a big fan of Squishmallows. Which one is your favorite?
Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot with this one.
Right? First of all, how many do you have? Let's start. How many do you have?
87.
Wow, you count that. I thought it'd be like, oh, I guess almost that. You know the exact number.
87. Well, it was 88, but I accidentally left one on a plane.
Oh, okay. Do you have your favorite one? Is there a name or one with like a color that?
I do.
Yeah, you
I
do.
have a, yeah, so there's a black bat, and her name is Avery. I sleep
Uh-huh.
with her every night because she's the biggest one I have, so it's the most like comfortable for my head. And
Okay.
it's just a giant black bat. I love her. She is my
Wow.
favorite.
Wow. I think that we should do an episode all about your Squishmallow. Go one by one and tell the story about
Oh,
like
for sure.
all of them. Okay. Um, funniest fun interaction in person or online could be, but I think that in person might be
Yeah,
more
for sure in
interesting, I guess.
person. I want to say the funniest fan interaction is when I was at a theme park and we were about to get on the ride, and the girl right in front of me, so like on the cart, recognized who I was and immediately just started gasping and was like trying to get oxygen in her system, and I felt so bad. And we get on the roller coaster, and the entire time she's just looking back at me as we're on this thing, just like seeing if I'm still there. I don't exactly know, but it was so funny because like every time she looked back, I was like, "Hi," and then she just started screaming again. But we took a picture at the end. It was just a really fun like roller coaster experience. I loved it, and I feel like nobody experiences something like that, so that felt really cool.
I can imagine. Wow. And so talking about like theme parks and everything, the coolest event you have been to, and in this case, invited as a content creator.
Okay, can I say VidCon?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would
Yeah.
say VidCon, even though I wasn't like a featured creator this year. I
Uh-huh.
think it was it was like the perfect amount of feeling like a normal like experientee. I don't know the right word for it, but I got like the normal experience. I didn't feel like special, and that was exactly what I wanted, because it was like I know exactly what that is like now for everybody that goes. I can say I have been to VidCon as like a, I don't even know the right word, but visitor, I would say. I don't know.
Nice. It's absolutely a good one. If people haven't been there yet, I would recommend to do and to go.
Yeah.
Favorite video that you created?
Favorite video, gosh. Uh, I'm gonna have to go with one of my more recent ones. Cracking open coconuts is one of my favorites right now.
Wow. Okay. Sometimes like I have like other like answers, and I love that you you went with a coconut. Like it's that's why people love your videos, I guess, right? Like, it was really specific. It was already in your mind. I love it. And last one, it's if not Cringe Carter, what else would you have named yourself?
Oh gosh, I've always battled between just my name Carter Kench. I also thought about Carter Farter because it was like my nickname growing up, and
Okay.
and then I think the other one I liked Go Carter. That was one of my other names that I liked.
Nice. Yeah, the farther one maybe for brand deals would have been a bit a bit more difficult to sell, but it's also fun, I guess. Um, that were some of my question. I might have way more, than those, but I think that these were like the ones I wanted just to quickly ask you. They were still politically correct somehow, just to go over. But Carter, before we wrap up, any last wise words or anything that you would like to share with the audience today?
Be yourself.
This is the year of Be Real, right? So I'm pretty sure that resonates well, right, with
Yeah,
even in the future, right?
yeah. Just
I love it.
if you ever get into this industry, remember, use your personal traits to your advantage.
Totally, totally. I like it. This is the message for everyone, not for content creators, I would say, but especially
Everyone.
nowadays with social media, for everyone. So love it. Carter, thank you so much. This was a blast. We learned many things about you, about your business side, personal side, fun interactions at theme parks. There was a little bit of everything, right? So thank you so much for joining me today. I loved it. And this was another episode of The Influence Factor by the Influencer Marketing Factory. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.